So, just real quick, I want to take the time today to kind of explain some of the ways that the Eagles can safeguard their quarterback while still expanding upon the playbook and not exactly showing you a vanilla offense the way that was showed in Week 18. Because, man, there's some folks that really think that's the offense they're going to see this upcoming weekend. All right, y'all, let's get into today's topic. What's up, Cerebral Football fans? My name is Steven Hyder. This is Gate City Sports Channel. Hey, if you're new to the channel, it's maybe your first, second, third time you caught my content, and you enjoyed today's discussion. We're on a journey. We're on a path that just crossed us over 6,900 subscribers. We're heading towards 7,500 subscribers. I would love for you to be a part of that equation and join the Cerebral Football community. I just need you to hit that subscribe button to do that. To my OG subscribers, hat in hand, here to ask you a favor. I want you guys to treat that like button the way Coach Nick Sirianni treated that stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. And smash it, bro. All right, y'all. Today's topic. It's funny, man, because I see a lot of these comments. And, folks really think we're going to come out there with some kind of vanilla-based offense like that in the postseason. Hey, guys, it's do or die. You ain't getting that offense. And if you think that, oh, man, that's just an excuse for Week 18, go see our preseason games, man. I think some folks just don't realize how much we can pare back things and what this coaching staff does sometimes. So what I really want to do today is kind of expand upon what RPO offenses are. I want to talk about the proliferation of this style of offense throughout the NFL because guess what? There's a lot of teams popping up running RPOs, and I think that sometimes people miss the conversation a little bit. They don't realize that although a guy like Patrick Mahomes doesn't run the ball as much through an RPO-based offense, it's still an RPO-based offense out there in Kansas City that he also operates with. It's got spread concepts mixed in with the West Coast, and they will pair and mix some RPO stuff in there. People don't realize, you look at Josh Allen, you look at Justin Fields, you look at the guy we're playing this Saturday night, and Daniel Jones. These are all offenses that have been built around the nature of how, gifted the quarterback is from an athletic standpoint to basically make them really difficult to defend. And boy, when you talk about being difficult to defend, in my opinion, we got one in Philadelphia at the quarterback position because boy, oh boy, has Jalen Hurts changed life for the offense.
Head coach. A little bit of a high snap fielded by Hurts, throwing on the run, and he completes. As a head coach. A little bit of a high snap fielded by Hurts, throwing on the run, and he...
Simply put, when you're quarterbacking inside an RPO-based offense, a lot of people think that, oh, this is so easy, anyone can operate it. No, they can't. No, they can't. Because there's a lot of pre- and post-snap reads that need to happen inside of RPO offenses. Now, the basis of an RPO offense is pretty easy to explain, guys. There's three ways that you operate an RPO offense, okay? Basically, what you're going to have here, guys, is you're going to have a numbers-based RPO. How many people are in the box? Then you're going to have something like leverage-based RPO. So is this linebacker here? Is this corner there? Is that nickel there? Are they on the inside-outside shoulder? They have inside-outside leverage, those type of things. Okay, then you have what's called motion-based RPO or movement-based RPO, which is what it sounds like, right? Like we're keying in on one particular player, and where do they move? What do they do after the snap? We see where they're at pre-snap, so we have our reads kind of set up, but the minute they make a movement post-snap, where does the ball go? So think like RPO glance stuff, guys, like a glance route inside an RPO system. Quick explanation for a glance route. The purpose of a glance route, guys, is to basically get you 6-on-6. So this is a really good way when teams like to play too high, whether it's quarters coverage, cover two, whatever. It's a way of stopping them from cheating their nickel corner or their safety from rotating down into the box late. Because if you do that, then you have that in-breaking route, that glance route behind that. So if they try to get that seventh man in the box, you can hit them real quick with that. I think people are forgetting just how dynamic of a quarterback Jalen Hurts is. And we don't necessarily have to expose him to high probability hits in order to absolutely dominate you through this RPO-based offense. You don't believe us? Go back to Dallas in Week 6 and look what we did to Micah Parsons. Okay? Let me tell you, if you over-cue on Jalen Hurts and the running back, it is not very difficult for Coach Sirianni, Coach Steichen, and for Jalen to start playing you off of motion.
Hurts, Brown, first down a lot more.
okay? They're reading you. They see you crash down, and then they see you flatten out and try to contain. Well, then they leak a guy like Dallas Goedert, or they leak a guy like A.J. Brown, who's an incredible yak-type receiver and tight end on you, and it's incredibly difficult to defend that. You start really losing the numbers game. It's really hard because you don't know if you got a gap blocking, assignment coming at you. You don't know what's coming at you. This offense will test the eyes of a defense. This is an incredibly difficult offense to defend with Jalen Hurts at the helm. And I think people are forgetting that. Yes, there have been times on the season to where Jalen Hurts has done what some people have deemed like kind of like the opposite of an RPO, right? There's the run-pass option in RPO, but there's another term that people call the pro, which is the pass-run option. It starts with the pass, but depending on what happens with players, they'll run. And there was a really good example down in the red zone a few weeks ago to where Jalen Hurts read basically one of the linebackers, one of the safeties, and when they widened out, he took off because now there's a clear lane into the end zone.
Jalen Hurts has followed Jason Kelce. Watch Kelce pull, but he goes the other way.
So people are just thinking it's going to be real easy to come in here and defend this offense. Even if the coaching staff is apprehensive to having a lot of designed runs for Jalen Hurts, it does not mean they cannot use Jalen Hurts' athleticism and your fear and your desire to want to test that shoulder to absolutely burn you. And I do think that what you're going to see this week, at least is what I hope you're going to see this week, I think you're going to see an offense that really wants to test the discipline and in particular the eye discipline of defenses. Because if you get too aggressive, if you cue in a little too much on Jalen Hurts, I think you're going to really pay a big-time price here. Because I do think that people are forgetting, hey, man, we got playmakers around this guy. And this is a time in a situation within the season to where we don't need Jalen Hurts to be Superman. We need Jalen Hurts to basically play point guard. We need him just to distribute the ball at this point. It's going to be interesting, guys. I'm very, very curious of what they do. I'm very curious of how they try to defend it. I'm very curious of whether or not they try to go man, whether or not they try to go, a zone concept in coverage, but bring like fire blitzes and zone blitz basically concepts at Jalen Hurts. I'm really curious what they try to do here because this offense in particular is incredibly difficult to defend. It has been a nightmare for teams week after week, and it does require you to have a certain athleticism and a certain ability to play to sideline to sideline to be able to really cover this thing. Now, I will say this. Analyzing the Giants, like what can the Giants do that can cause you some chaos? Well, I think if they man up, then they're probably going to man up with a Dory Jackson on A.J. Brown. And that's, Dory Jackson has had some up and down moments, but he just came off of a really good performance last week in Minnesota. So they do have at least one guy in that secondary in particular who's a little bit of a playmaker. But I will say that the bigger challenge to me is that it's going to be down in the trenches. And Dexter Lawrence is a really, really good football player. Probably the premier nose tackle in the league right now. And when you look at Dexter Lawrence, his ability to control the line of scrimmage would be the bigger issue for the Eagles, right? Because when you're trying to play numbers, man, if you don't have to commit that many people to the box because Dexter Lawrence can really clog up the middle of the field, well, then it's giving you a better shot. It's giving you a better opportunity to try to play off of some of the things the Eagles are going to do to test your eye discipline. So to me, I'm going to say that, yes, the whole Dory Jackson battle and whether they're going to play zone, whether they're going to play man, where are they going to come hot after Jalen Hurts, like all that stuff is very interesting, no doubt. But what we do in terms of how we set things up, are we going to use, gap blocks? Are we going to RPO them? What can Dexter Lawrence do? Can the Eagles wash him out? That's going to be the bigger and the larger, interest to the game, in my opinion. That's going to be really the matchup within the matchup, in my opinion. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all so much for your time and attention. Leave your comments down below. Like I said, guys, I think people are underselling just how dynamic an offense can be via the RPO. All you really need from Jalen Hurts is to hold the ball if they're really crashing down and get you 3 or 4 yards and get down. That's really all you need. I mean, I think people are overcomplicating the situation personally. Now, body weight falls on Jalen Hurts. I think it's going to happen eventually, and I think we're all going to be doing that same thing. We're going to be holding our breath and seeing if he pops right back up. No doubt about that, guys. I mean, I can't project health. I don't know. But I will say, it's a mistake to think that just because a guy is a little bummed up on the shoulder and like the fact that the Eagles might want to safeguard him a little bit from unnecessary contact, that you still can't get dominated through an RPO-based offense. I'd be real careful. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see you guys on the next video.